Am I the asshole for moving my partner's sim to a shed when we fight in real life? My policies are gonna fall off. Let's find out! I, 28 female, love my boyfriend, 33 male to bits. I also love playing The Sims 3 and growing our fake family together in the game. I make us young again anytime we get old so we can have more babies. It's great. The first time I read this, I was like, I make us young again. After reading that they are 28 and 33. I am close to being 32 and I was like, what? When they get old in the game, she makes them young again. Recently, we've been bickering more than usual. I want to be clear that we've been addressing these problems in real life. They've been fighting. Am I an asshole for moving his sim into the butler's shed in the backyard? Our Sims are still married, I'm just punishing him for fun because I'm mad at him in real life. I think I'm hilarious, so I told my friend and she said that wouldn't help our issues. Obviously it won't help, but I don't think it's hurting either. To be clear, the butler still lives in the shed. I just added an extra single bed for my boyfriend. I love this one. I especially chose this for the beginning of this video because it's the best one, I think. Like, you can't send a real-life adult to timeout, right? So at least you can do it in game. I really want to know how he feels about it. Like, does he know? Did he ever find out within the 7 months after this was posted? Not the asshole, this is amazing. You could be putting his sim in a pool and removing the ladder or trapping him in an enclosed room for days, so your sim boyfriend should be pretty happy with just being relocated. Like a spider to the garden. Thanks y'all, I'm gonna keep being petty. If he acts up again, he loses his door privileges. Too ridiculous to be relevant in real life, yeah. Probably. Am I the asshole for cheating on my girlfriend, female 23, in The Sims 4? Okay, I know, but listen. I like me some good simulation game. I was playing RimWorld recently and decided to go back to Sims for a while and try out the 4th version of it. So I, as probably many of Sims players across the world, made a version of myself in the game and went on into the world to live my life. Couple of hours passed by and I'm getting better at my job, learning how to cook, and I got an in-game virtual, non-real life existent girlfriend. You know what happens next. So my real girlfriend sees that I'm playing Sims, she likes the game as well and starts to watch me playing. We're talking, having fun, and then it happened. She saw the bitch that was in my Sims house. At first she was a little mad, but didn't show it, I guess. Me, not seeing any signs of annoyance, started interacting with the in-game girlfriend and she kissed me. Then my real-life girlfriend flipped the out. I'm not gonna go into details here, but she's still not talking to me and it's the day after. I tried to talk to her about it, explaining that it's a game, hell, even saying that I will break up with the girlfriend in the game. Nothing is working. It'll probably pass, but I want to know if I'm really the asshole because I definitely feel like one right now. And there is another very similar one. Am I the asshole for not making my boyfriend in The Sims 4? So my boyfriend bought me a PS4 a while back and then recently bought me The Sims. He was over at my house one day and I had installed The Sims and was excited to play it. He was laying on my bed and I was playing the game and started making my characters. I made myself and some other guy, not my boyfriend, and then eventually made children. My boyfriend went really quiet when I didn't make him in the game, but I didn't think he was that upset over it. A few weeks after, he told me he was upset by it and asked why I didn't put him in the game. I honestly didn't even mean to make him upset, so I'm wondering if I am the asshole. Both of those are not the a-hole verdict, and I kinda agree, but I kind of feel like it is a little weird. I think the first guy, that's a little different because he was playing the game alone for a while and then his girlfriend just like started looking at it, right? But I kind of feel like it is kind of weird to deliberately make yourself with a random guy. Like make a sim that looks like you and has your name. Your boyfriend is sitting next to you and you're making your husband that is just like a random guy. I get if it's like a crush, like a celebrity crush you have, someone who is definitely not accessible to you, and you're just having a laugh and making yourself with this celebrity, and your boyfriend is like, oh yeah, that's cool. So I feel like these two are different, but probably I agree that none of them are actually, like, they didn't really do anything bad. It's just a game. It's uncomfortable, but it doesn't have to be a thing that you fight over. It's just like, hey, I feel kind of weird when you do that, or like, let's talk about it kind of thing, but not like silent treatment kind of thing, right? It's not a real person. It's not like she made her coworker. Like, making yourself in The Sims and then Brian from your work, that is definitely not your boyfriend, but your boyfriend kind of like knows him or knows of him, and you're making him your husband in The Sims and then kids with him. Like, that would be an asshole move, definitely. Like, if it was a real person that you both know in real life. Or if you made your ex. Like, that's too much. Am I the asshole for not sharing my friend's hatred for The Sims 4? Very hot topic from 4 years ago. I'm a female 33 and my friend is female 31. We're both Sims fans and we play all of the games that have been released on PC. However, recently my friend has been ranting and raving about The Sims, how The Sims 4 sucks, and how she loves The Sims 3 to the point that my social media timelines are full of her posts and rants. Isn't that a little too much? Most of her rants are about how the game lacks family gameplay and how she cannot live out her fantasies of being with fictional guys she's in love with at the moment, and she also follows with anything famous YouTubers of the community say. She worships the ground that Pixelate and Plumbella walks on. Valid, especially with Plumbella, and thus she'll go on a 10-minute tangent about how they're right about everything. I really don't care about what's better than what because I enjoy the games on their own merits, and I don't complain about one because I honestly know how to play the game without using mods, as I use my imagination to come up with imaginative stories and scenarios. So when I mentioned to her that I honestly don't want to bash the developers of the game because game development is hard and takes a lot of time, she says that I defend the company and sim gurus, and that because of that, I'm blinded to seeing that The Sims 4 sucks. I've told her multiple times that I don't care about that, and that since I'm a storyteller, I don't need all the bells and whistles from earlier games to tell a story. So I'm wondering if I'm the asshole for not sharing her bash fest, and that I don't listen to YouTubers as closely as she does. Also, am I the asshole for being being understanding of how long game development takes to make decent games, and I don't go straight to the developer's Twitter to send them nasty messages? The police is looking for her. That's probably not the police. No, that's an ambulance. And there's an edit. I don't play the games often because I'm busy with living my real life. My friend tends to spend a lot of time playing the game every single day. Also valid. For both of you, really. As someone who is a tiny bit guilty for bashing The Sims 4 and saying that it sucks, I do want to say that this post makes exactly the point that I always make about The Sims 4, that it is for people who have very strong imagination and are creative and don't need the game to do random stuff to tell a story. Like, they are perfectly okay with coming up with a story from start to end and taking full control over it. I am more of a player that interprets stuff that already happens in the game. I am not a fan of forcing things and planning every single thing, like make a whole scenario. I'd rather have something written for me already and write the next chapter to it, something like that. So it just really looks like they are two different types of Sims players, and the other friend, the friend that constantly says that The Sims 4 sucks, just doesn't realize that people play the game in different ways, and that The Sims is such a huge game with so many possibilities and so many different ways to play it that there are probably no two people that play the game exactly the same. And with the YouTubers, I guess she might just agree with them on a lot of levels. Worshipping is never good for you. It's not very healthy, you know, like taking every word that a YouTuber says as something holy, but the halo effect is real, like it happens. If you don't like a game, just don't play it. I like some aspects of The Sims 4, and I have to set up a very specific kind of gameplay to enjoy the game, but I can enjoy it, and I know I can enjoy it. I definitely prefer The Sims 2, definitely. The Sims 3 is my second favorite, so I totally get it, but you don't have to be an asshole about it. Not the asshole. Everyone knows that The Sims 2 is a superior game. What the hell is your friend thinking? Yes. That's not my comment. But could have been. So yeah, even if you're really close friends with someone, you don't owe them having the same opinion. Like, you can enjoy your own things. Just putting it out there, just in case someone doesn't know. Am I the asshole for not letting my sister play my Sims 4 saves? Ooh. It says not enough info, so I'm a micromanaging type of player. For some of my longest saves, I even keep in real-life notes to stay on top of the townies' activities and goings-on concerning my Sims and the world. I hear ya. Also, when I'm playing a challenge, I strictly follow the rules. So for example, if I'm doing an extreme version of Rags to Riches, there'll be no selling directly from inventory, kleptomania, asking for a loan, etc. Long story short, my sister got offended when I wouldn't let her play a bit with my saves, even though she lets me play on hers. I think that's different since she doesn't strictly follow any challenge or rules. She just kinda does whatever in the game. Point being, our style of playing is very different. I'd let her take her own save on my computer and play there, but she doesn't want that, which makes me believe she just wants to mess around with my Sims. Am I the asshole for this? Someone said that you can just, like, this is what I thought of it immediately. Like, you can just set a backup, you can also just save your save as, you know, like have another copy of it and give it to her. That's perfectly doable, but I totally get that. First of all, she didn't think of it because she said so. And also, well, you don't really owe anyone your saves. I'm saying that as someone who is also very protective of her saves, and I keep every single save I've had since 2009, even the broken ones. Yeah, you're totally valid for that. You don't have to give someone your save. Even if you can make a copy of it, make backup, it's your save. It's your property. It's the same as, I don't know, letting someone use your makeup or something. You don't have to let them. Especially if you're a control freak when it comes to saves and you're really anxious about something being broken, something not going the way you want, like maybe losing your backup and having to get back to a save that someone tinkered with. Like, I totally get that. Not the asshole. If she lets you on hers, that's her decision. But if you don't want her on yours, then that's your decision. So not the asshole. Yeah, it doesn't have to be symmetrical. It doesn't have to be like, hey, I let you do this, so why don't you let me do the same thing? It's like everyone has their own boundaries. Am I the asshole for being upset that my friend made my family in The Sims? Maybe this is a stupid thing to get upset over, and I have not confronted her about it yet. I just wanted to know if my feelings are justified. I am 18, and my 23 female friend made my family in The Sims 4, and I think that action itself is a little weird but innocent enough. Before I go further, my dad and I have a relatively rocky relationship. It was a lot worse in the past, but he and I are working towards repairing our relationship. I do rant about my dad to my friends, and I think it's pretty safe to say that most people rant to their friends about things that involve their parents, right? But what I didn't expect her to do was make my father in The Sims 4, give him a bunch of horrible characteristics, and then proudly show it to me. She made my dad in The Sims and quite literally made him evil. How am I even supposed to react to this situation? I don't think it's her place to decide something about my father based on the very small fragment of information that she has about him. Realistically speaking, she and I have only been friends for a couple of months. We met through university. I would never ever voice my opinion on such a personal situation that I don't know anything about, And I don't think I know anyone besides her, of course, who would do so either. So people of Reddit, do you think I'm an asshole for being upset over this? They said it's no a-holes here, but I kind of feel like the friend, like, that was kind of an asshole move. As OP said, it's not her place to decide what traits her dad has, no matter what the relationship is or was or whatever. Why would you do that? Like, making your own family members and giving them the worst traits, like family members that you really don't like, that's fine. Like, it's a way to cope, I guess, but making someone else's family member and giving them those traits, like, she probably doesn't even know the father. I mean, if she got inspired by his character and just made like a similar one for her gameplay, because she was like, oh, that's an interesting guy. It would be nice to have a guy like that in my save file, you know? Like, to mess things up a little bit. That's okay, I guess, but showing it to your friend and being like, hey, I made your dad, and he's an asshole, like, it kind of rubs me the wrong way. It's just really strange. Also, I'm kind of worried that OP is 18 and the friend who did that is 23? It makes it even weirder, right? What do you think? Let me know, because that was the last one. Hope you enjoyed this video. I didn't see any AITA on YouTube that would specifically be about The Sims, so I thought this would be really cool to do, just as a different kind of video than I usually do. If this video went further and you're new here, I mostly play The Sims 2, so don't get your hopes up. Or do! I don't know what you prefer. I make some videos about The Sims 2 info, you know, the mechanics and stuff like that, and people really like that, but I also make gameplays. I just finished a series, so I am going to start a new one, so maybe stay tuned for that. And as always, thank you very much for watching, subscribing, and stuff, like the video, and see you in the next one. Bye! My nails are different on each hand because I just went to a Taylor Swift concert and I was in my lover era.